What's up, dog?
What's up, dog?
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
It's great to have you here in the Apple Town.
I love the Apple Town. It's so good to be back.
You know why they call it that?
No,
Because of all the apples and the.
I don't think I've seen a single apple since I've been here.
Really? Sorry.
It's a surprise.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be showing me around the city. I haven't seen a single apple tree. I haven't seen.
You know, it's funny. Like,
I forgot about apples the whole time I've been here.
you know, like they have like pumpkins that they'll make like huge, right? They'll have like pumpkins that are massive.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen an apple bigger than an apple.
Right.
Like a double apple, like an apple double the size of an apple. Not at once.
Yeah. I guess pumpkins naturally are just like a big fucker. So
Yeah.
it's like, I wonder how big this thing could get. It's like, how exciting. And then you could live inside it.
Yes.
It's like an apple isn't really. I don't see anyone living in an apple. But like a big pumpkin.
Oh, an apple is like a worm, like one bedroom or like a studio for a worm.
For a worm, yeah.
Whereas a pumpkin is like a condominium or like a whole condominium
For worms.
for worms.
You can get a bunch of worms. in
And a
pumpkin.
guy,
Yeah.
a little guy. This is Michael Watkins.
Hey, I'm a little double tasking here. Gonna be.
Getting some reps in.
Yeah. Figure.
Michael's one of my oldest friends in the Philly comedy scene. You were there at like the very first things I ever did in the scene. Yeah.
Was I nice?
Yes. You and I actually remember because I very specifically tried to befriend you because I liked your stuff, and we had a good conversation about like what movie would you want to live inside of.
Oh my gosh.
Do you remember that?
Possibly.
Do
you remember what movie I said?
Yeah, as a joke, you said Eyes Wide Shut.
I've never even seen that movie. I mean, yeah, that makes sense though, because it's a horny movie. I wanted to be in there. It was that was a movie that when I was a kid, you'd like turn on HBO and it would be like an hour into it. It was like always on HBO, and it would be like right when they're going to like this sex party, and it was just like. When you're at that age where it's like you never know when you're gonna see that stuff, and you're like, oh, this movie, like, oh shit, this is like a fucking freaky movie.
And then you start thinking that like people always have sex with masks on.
Yeah,
You know, they say that. I mean, it's like it's a myth that like Orthodox Jews have sex through a sheet, and it's also a myth that all rich wasps have sex through a masquerade ball.
Yeah. I definitely did think you had to wear a mask though, and
In order to have sex.
yeah, it's like it took me a long time to lose my virginity, showing up with a mask on.
The Phantom of the Prom.
Yeah. Like, oh, I'm just gonna be a virgin forever. Wearing a Scooby-Doo mask.
But let's see. Michael. She lives in Philadelphia, in town. Did my show, and so we haven't seen each other in a while, and we're sort of a little bit of. We've already done all the catching up, so now we can just do all the pure riffs, baby.
Yeah, you lucked out because we've already caught up, and now we're in Rift Town.
That's right.
Talking about living in a pumpkin. We were talking Super Mario earlier.
That's right. What vegetable would you want to live inside of the most?
Vegetable.
Or fruit?
Oh.
You notice that society makes us wear masks anyway?
Yeah. These days, you gotta have a mask on while you're having sex. These days.
If you ever like draw a face on your belly?
A face on my belly?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, you've never drawn a face on your belly?
And like make it talk.
Or
with, like,
or in any capacity.
Oh, just
You've not once drawn a face tonight, and tonight's the night.
let's do it. I mean, I wouldn't say I definitely have never done that because I may have done it, but it doesn't stand out as a memory to me.
The idea being that shirt in that sense is a mask.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I did? That does remind me. I don't know if you remember. There was a wrestler, badass Billy Gunn. You remember this guy? He started going by Mr. Ass. And his like theme song was like, "Oh, I'm an ass man," and he was like this fucking, it was like, but he would have his shorts said Mr. Ass, they had these little shorts that Mr. Ass, and me and my sister were like 8 and 9, or like you were like young or whatever, and we wrote Mr. Ass on our butts and took pictures, and it was a time where it was like a disposable, and so we're just taking pictures and being like goofy or whatever, and then like they had to get developed.
Oh, and it's like children with their butts.
Right, it was like nude butts from like kids, and they like wouldn't like, we like got in trouble for it basically. They were like, why are these pictures in here? Like, because of wrestling.
I had an idea.
I've never drawn a face on my stomach.
But you've drawn a Mr. Ass on your butt.
Took a picture.
You know those pants that say like "juicy" on the butt in like bedazzled letters?
Yes.
I think the idea of like writing poop on the butt.
Poopy.
I'm gonna turn this up.
Yeah.
I had that on previously, and I could hear it in the last ep. So I'm like, let me turn it off.
Oh yeah.
No noise. Might hear a blender soon.
You want to? You really want to make these shorts? The juicy shorts.
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea.
Bedazzled in pink on the sweatpants is the idea.
They
so when you said
you
said shorts, and for a moment I thought you were like, oh, comedy shorts.
Yeah. It's
comedy shorts in a different pun-esque way, and I apologize.
It's it's like a given when you're like, yeah, juicy on the butt is gonna be sweatpants. It's funny to think of like a power suit, like a women's power suit, but it still says juicy on the butt.
Head of state.
Yeah.
Angela Merkel.
They're on big bedazzled juicy on their butt. I don't know. I've never seen Bernie Sanders from behind. His butt might say juicy.
Yeah. He got them fuck me mittens. He got those slut mittens. Sorry.
Mittens?
I don't know. You just had those like really cool mittens.
Oh, the mittens.
So,
how could I forget the mittens?
Just really great mittens, and I'm sexualizing them.
Yeah. I mean,
like any good shitpost leftist podcast.
Yeah, I want to get jerked off by Bernie's mittens.
But not by Bernie. By Bernie? Is he in the mittens?
Well, it would be nice to meet Bernie Sanders. Oh, if that was how I had to meet Bernie Sanders.
They used to have to only kiss babies. Now they have to individually jerk off.
You gotta step it up.
Every person.
You gotta start jerking people off. You gotta start kissing adults. He takes one's baby and you give it the kiss, and you're like, and one for the mom. That's how you get elected.
Yeah, Joe Biden is the one thing is like the babies don't have enough hair to sniff. So he had to outsource that.
I'm sure he'll find a way.
Yeah.
Dude loves to sniff. Remember when he sucked on his wife's finger? Remember that? She was like,
He like bit it.
Yeah.
Did he suck on it a little?
Yeah, he went like. People were really fucking.
It's so funny.
People were really mad about that, of all things. Like, he's losing his mind. He's sucking his wife's finger.
Oh man.
It was funny if he bit her finger though, and she was like, "What the fuck?"
You know, if he had enough riz, like imagine JFK was out here sucking things. Dude, people would have loved that shit. That would have normalized it day one.
Yeah.
Jackie Onassis, little fingies sucked.
Yeah, you know.
We choose to go to the moon.
That was a good JFK. I was just thinking about it. I was like, I don't think I've ever even bothered to try to do JFK. I will suck your fingies. So what the fuck? What do we do? We just came from a little breakfast diner, and they locked the door while we were in there. And they were pulling down the big metal.
We were lunching, they started closing.
Yeah.
It was like 12:24, and they were like there were other people still there.
There'd be one there, yeah.
Yeah.
And like they started pulling down the big metal gates with the stick. One time I was locked in a Taco Bell. It was really funny.
How'd that happen?
It was this Taco Bell in Philly. It was open at like 2:00. Mr. Honey Boy.
Honey Boy.
And I guess we were in line, and someone goes like to leave out the door, and it's locked, and they're like, "Yo, what the fuck is locked?" And one of the employees is like, "Oh shit, like let me get that." Like they were closing, I guess, and they had to do it. But it got jammed, and they couldn't unlock it. And there was like a bunch of us in this Taco Bell at like 2 a.m, and it's like, you know, it's like setting in, and it's like, it's so funny. We're all like literally locked in this Taco Bell. What's going on? And it just about like reached the point where people were like, okay, this isn't very funny, and I need to get out of here.
How long is that? Like 30 minutes or something?
It was maybe like 20, 30 minutes.
Okay. Because like 5 minutes is like, but then like 15 minutes to 20 minutes, you're like, oh no, I do have places. I do need to go. Do you get free tacos?
Fill my Baja Blast. I should have.
You should have.
I was like to ever tell you I was locked in the subway.
No.
This
Really?
is so funny. Yeah. I went down. They just started doing a thing in Philly where they're running 24 hours. And I didn't realize that this was just on weekends. And so it was like a Thursday or whatever, and I go down, and there's no one at the turnstile or whatever, and I'm waiting for a bit, and like that happens. Sometimes they go on their break, and if I'm waiting more than like 5-10 minutes, I'll just hop it.
Right.
Right. Cut that out. And I hopped it, and I went down, and I'm like waiting, and I'm like on the platform. It's like 10 minutes. I'm like, okay, it's been a little long, like 15 minutes. I'm like looking around, like there's no one else on this platform, not across the way or anything. I'm like, wait a second. And I went back up. Person's still not in the kiosk, and then I go back up the steps to the street, and they closed the gate and like chained it up. I was like, okay. And so I went back down, and I'm like popping up at each like corner, like going up the steps, and everyone is locked. I'm like locked in the subway. And eventually I come back up to the one corner, and I come up to the gate, and there's a dude leaned up against it on the other side, like smoking a cigarette. And I come up, like, imagine you're, like, at this gate, and someone comes up, and it's clearly just locked, and there's lockdown there. And I come up, and he sees me, and he goes, yo, what the fuck? Seriously? He's like, are you locked in the subway right now? I was like, yes. He's like, all right. There's a cop over there. I'm going to go talk to him. I was like, thanks. And then the SEPTA police, the Philly Transit police showed up and, like, unlocked the gate, but they, like, were like angry at me. I'm like, you locked me down. Like, you definitely are supposed to like check to see if people are down there, right? But yeah, then I got out of there.
Oh wow.
But real horror movie stuff.
Yeah, that could have been a nightmare. That could have been like, I don't know, much longer. That makes sense, so that you could be able to like go to the gate and be like, hey.
Yeah. Because I was like, if he wasn't there, I just would have started screaming or something.
You know what station?
Gerard, Broad and Gerard.
Sure. The Philadelphia subways are kind of just like up and down, left and right.
Yeah.
In a kind of nice way. Except the one that goes left and right then goes up diagonally.
Yeah. There's a little variety, but it's mostly, if you're in Philly, it's just, where you go? You going up? You're going down.
Yeah, which is like if you live anywhere that's like on a diagonal spoke of that, it's like you kind of have to. Yeah. It's all like if it's like weird. It's like you have to go down and then go over and then up and then back instead of like something that's like that a lot of that American cities don't do, but other nations do is they have radial lines that go in concentric circles.
Right.
So and that like completely. Yeah.
No, it was a very awful map to look at when I was there. It was Boston. Have you ever looked at the goddamn streets of Boston?
I don't. Well, I went there recently. I didn't look at. I don't know if I noticed this thing.
Well,
I've got an observation to trade back though. But
apparently, because me and Philly comedian Joe Bell went to Boston and did some shows, and we're driving around, and the roads are just insane. And apparently what I learned was they were just like they were horse trails and then they just turned them in the roads. So there's no logic. You will never be able to, like, you just have to know. And then there's just like, there'll be like a jug handle that's like Copper Street, but then there's like another Copper Street that's just like fucking
actually
10 minutes away from that one. It's like, oh, you're the wrong it's a disaster of a map.
Something I've heard is it's like so it's like these are originally some degree of woods or meadows that the deer would have some sort of natural path that they would walk.
That might be what I'm thinking.
And then it's like, well, no, it's like, because then it's like, then people come and they start taking their cows along the deer paths, and then it's like, all right, now you've got like a path that's wide enough for a cow going this way and a cow going this way, and then a horse, and you end up, the like literal streets of modern day are like where the deer would like follow a thicket lane, you know?
Yeah.
That's just because that it became like, that it kept growing out from that. The thing I noticed with Boston is that there's like one main park, and I was like, oh, this is the park from like the movies, like Good Will Hunting and stuff. Like I was there, it's like, oh, there's like one park downtown, and it's this one.
This is the Boston Park. There's Goodwill.
He's passing out money to folks. He's hunting that Goodwill.
Yeah, I was hoping to run into.
I'll say one thing is that this mic weirdly picks up if you tap this part of it.
Oh, the cable.
Don't smack the cable with the weights too much, because you'll hear that. You'll hear this little thing, whatever that sounds like.
I'm so sorry if you're hearing a little.
Because I used to do headphones with the, but then it's like, then you're
just like hearing.
It's like I'm trying to have a
like,
conversation with you. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just trying to fucking chill out.
Trying
to get jerked off by Bernie.
Mittens. Yeah, you know, mittens used to be for deer hands.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
originally for deer.
So no, nothing. Let's. I want to talk about good old Scroat and Joe Bell. He brought up Joe Bell briefly.
Okay.
Michael is part of a comedy duo with Joe Bell, who's also another one of my
now a trio.
And who else?
Angelucci. Dan Angelucci is our third Scroat.
Not Gooch. Gooch.
Luch. Big Luch. Shout out to Big Luch.
Shout out Dan Angelucci.
Shout out to Baby Bell and Big Luch.
That's right. And making some of the funniest sketches. Check out their whole series on like the Grinch that you just did for like Christmas, but as well like I've been showing everybody the 60 Minutes parody just because like some shots of that are so good. Thank you. So accurate. Yeah.
Yeah.
All of them are very funny.
It's really wild that I had sat in this makeup chair and got the Grinch shit done. It really was just like, you know, you grow up like, you know, like the lore of like, oh, Jim Carrey was in that chair for like 10 hours and they said it was like grueling. Like he said he talked to like CIA like torture experts like about how to endure this process.
Wow.
And it was so bad that like the first time it was like, he said like 8 to 10 hours or something, and then after that they like streamlined it. They're like, it'll take a few hours or whatever. But like my whole life I always remember hearing that and seeing that and being like, man, imagine. I couldn't imagine.
Wait, then you did it.
Couldn't be me.
How long did it take?
Like a few hours.
How many times did you do it?
I only did it once.
Oh, so you filmed all those sketches in the same?
Yeah.
Nice.
We got Grinched up, and we're just like, how much Grinch can we do? Yeah, it took hours, and it was like we're like, all right, we can choose. This is what Luch proposed to us. It's like, I got these makeup people. We can do this cheap option. We can do the mid-tier option, or we can do like the super expensive one. And we picked the mid-tier.
It looks great.
Yeah, which ended up just being as good as we could have ever imagined. The only thing that if we would have went higher would have been to
get heart surgery.
Yeah, yeah, it would have made my heart 3 times the size. Was that they would have actually done a prosthetic mold of my face, but instead they just had the Grinch prosthetic.
It looks so good.
It's crazy.
It's like unreal.
We were like looking at videos of like the Grinch in Orlando, Florida. Ha! and he doesn't look like that good, which makes sense because they have to just do it every day.
Yeah.
So like next to Jim Carrey's The Grinch, I think I may have been
one of the best Grinch.
looking Grinches. Except for I guess there was like a musical with the dude from Glee that played Grinch. I don't know if you saw that.
No.
Good.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's really, really bad.
It's a rude no.
Yeah. You're a little rude to the guy from Glee.
No, I mean it's like I don't know acting fundamentals that well. Like I'm not familiar with it. So take this compliment as watered down. But I thought you were like a brilliant actor. Like I don't know.
you.
Truly, like it's like just in comedically because it's like the parody you're doing is so funny. I posted that sketch. Luch had me put on Reddit because I guess you guys got banned for posting too many cringe sketches or something.
Did we?
Yeah, I don't know if you know that.
Oh boy, no.
So I posted the 60 Minutes one.
Okay.
And it had two waves to it. The first wave was like people initially going like, what the fuck is this? Like, this makes no sense. Why would you, like, this has nothing to do with like the Grinch's like story. Like,
right.
Why? And then like a second wave of people being like, yes, that's why it's brilliant. That's why it's so funny.
Yeah.
That's
thank,
like the
and
genius
thank you,
of it.
those people. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for setting everyone straight.
It's
and thanks for the Benny bump.
Yeah. I mean, pause this right now, then unpause it and keep watching this podcast, and at the end, go watch that. Don't pause and leave. Are you kidding me? That'll ruin analytics.
You pause it, and we will also wait in
Oh my
silence.
god! Yeah. You want to wait for like roughly 2 minutes, real quick?
Yeah. Oh, you know what was the awful part of getting grinched up was the contacts. I've never like worn contacts.
The yellow, yeah.
And it was like after all this like it literally was like the very last thing, and it was just so much just time and fucking labor into putting all this stuff on. The very last thing was just me going like for fucking like so long. I'm like, I can't.
I wonder if that would have been, was that harder because you also had like green paint all over you?
Maybe, I don't know. I think I'm just not meant to be putting contacts in.
Oh, sure.
It's hard to do.
I might start doing colorful contacts at some point.
Ooh.
Because I think that's within brand of me to be a little quirked up in some capacity. What?
Start wearing all blacked out eyes like Wes Borland from Limp Bizkit.
Oh, does he do that?
Yeah,
That's
you ever
cool.
seen the guitarist from Limp Bizkit? He would like fully blacked out eyes.
No.
Like an alien. Limp Bizkit is one of those bands where it looks like 5 people from like different bands almost.
One of them's like full singer-songwriter, like
Yeah.
like a Fiona Apple or something.
Yeah. Fiona Apple plays the turntables.
I want to hear a joke.
From me?
No, I have a joke about it. I was just making me think
You
of
said
this.
I want to hear a joke.
You want to hear a joke? I would have. By the way, that's how I do it in conversation because I can't just pounce them on people. But just wanted to make sure you were down to hear a joke.
No, I'm
not going to tell you one. Just
because a lot of comedians will just pretend that they just thought of it and
Then you-
bring it up naturally.
Yeah, you've like heard them do it or something. Yeah. It's like a cartoon theremin falls on a guy's head, and then he smiles wide and he's got no teeth.
That's good.
Thank you. I think the thing is like I don't know if enough people know a theremin. Maybe they do. I can't really. I don't know if I could do that one on stage.
Yeah, maybe if you set it up earlier, where you're like, you guys hear about this theremin?
Yeah.
So then you can educate people, and then they'll be ready for it.
I definitely do that with some jokes. So it's like the phrenology stuff.
Steampunk,
Yeah,
phrenology, yeah.
By the time I get to, there's like a final line where I'm going like talking about like people with concave occipital lobes talking about how phrenology is a pseudoscience. By the time I've gotten to there, I have to have taught them. People know about racist skull science, but they might not know it's called phrenology,
Right.
or they might not even fully know about it. But so by the time I've gotten there, I've given them all the bits that they need to know.
Gave you all the clues.
I gave you all the clues.
That's nice. I like to learn something while watching stand-up. You know?
And you learn that skulls impact people's.
Yeah.
I'm working on a bit about racist skull science.
Yeah, the emoji pack only has the Mediterranean skull.
Yeah.
It's this guy.
Are you? What's been striking your eye lately as something to talk about on stage? Are you interested in here's something. You have been telling me some very funny stuff about your journey with gender to some degree. And I'm curious.
I don't think it's funny at all. I don't remember what I said. Was something funny?
Yeah, I mean, you had a really great. Can I parrot one of your jokes back at you?
Yeah. What did I say?
Well, the idea of like when you're growing up, like having people be like do XYZ like a girl.
Oh yeah.
You throw like a girl or
run like a girl and sound like a girl. Yeah.
And then it's like, guess what?
Yeah, like, I'm a girl, and they're like, fuck you. Yeah. That's how it goes. You run like a girl, you fucking sound like a girl, everything's girly, and you're like, maybe I'm a girl, and I'm like, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
You're just a little pussy boy.
Yeah, it's like, no, you're a guy that we want to disrespect.
Right.
You're not a.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well.
No, I mean, but it's like that's like a very funny classically structured joke even, you know what I mean?
Thank you.
And that's only like one example. Like last night you were telling me stuff in that space is like really making me laugh, and are you interested in
talking about on stage?
Yeah,
sort of.
I'll DM you all of the stuff that made me laugh.
Yeah. We recorded
docket.
That?
Yeah.
I'm not like I think I like said I like came out recently or whatever on stage, and it was like whatever, it got some laughs. I did a thing. I was like, I recently came out as trans. Boo! It's like,
really?
No, I did the boo.
Oh,
it's like imagine if I just got booed into oblivion. And that was funny. I kind of have a thing where I'm like, I'm not like seeking it out so much, but if something does, I might do that now that you bring it up. But it's also just like I don't really want to lean into stuff that's like a little serious, or like personal, but maybe.
Well, I mean, I also I have a syndrome. I have a special secret set of skills. No, I've got like Tourette's is like, it's an identity type idea, right. And I do think like I'm being up there, and I do have a couple notes about it, like, right. Or like quick jokes, but it's like just my inherent being up there is part of the representation idea, and I'm able to push in that space. And then I can talk about what I want to.
For sure, yeah. And you have so many bits, and it's like it's such a part of the whole performance. It's like
thank you. But I'm curious if not that, what's something? What's a new interest of yours, or some new space you've been?
I've mostly
pushing into.
Just been talking about like jobs I've had. I've realized.
Oh, I noticed that. Yeah. You last night you went over at least 4 of them.
3 or 4 jobs. Yeah. I think I realized this recently, and I was like, my set is just like my resume, which is like, it makes sense. It's just like that's where most of my time has been, is just working in some stupid place, and then.
It's good. It's like all the bits like land and are funny.
Yeah, I did really, really good. I crushed.
She did great. In front of a great crowd.
At Union Hall,
but not so great that anybody could easily crush, but great if you're funny. They're there to meet your energy, but not that it was an easy crowd.
As much as giving it up.
They were
nice.
They were the correct amount of laugh.
Yes.
The perfect the platonic ideal of a laugh.
Yeah. Nothing. I think we were talking about is
and they're also handsome.
Yeah.
Sorry, what?
There's like a certain kind of crowd that I think you get in Philly a lot. That's a very like impress me kind of thing. It's just like, let's fucking see this. What's this guy think he's doing?
Yeah. And the Philly scene, I mean, I do sometimes think it's like, well, if I build up the Philly scene, and I do want to build up the Philly scene, but some of that is also like, if you go like, yeah, you have to really be fucking funny to do well in Philly. It's like sort of self-jerking off in group thing of like, yeah, we made it out of Philly,
right.
But at the same time, I do think that New York crowds, like you mentioned, also are like they're excited. They're there to see comedy. They're there to have fun.
It's a little more of an expectation to see comedy when you're in New York. It's the same with Chicago, but like Phil. I remember an open mic in Philly years ago that was just like it was like. Was there Mardi Gras or St. Patrick's Day? Just like a nightmare drinking day, and we're in this a bar open mic, and fucking just this crowd was just so shit faced, does not care that there's comedy going on. It should have stopped, and if someone was on stage, and this dude at the bar just fucking scowling at the stage and says to his buddy, "Does this dude fucking think this is Comedy Central?"
Spill my drink a little. You got a physical spit take for me just now.
It's such a funny thing to just see a comedian in a bar. What's this guy think is fucking Comedy Central? It's like that just feels like so. That's the Philly audience attitude mostly. Who does this person think they are? Which in a lot of ways I think is good to come up in that, but
yeah, because then it's like it's humbling as well as like you have to know how to make that guy laugh in some way.
Yeah.
One thing, maybe something I've noticed having lived here now instead of Philly. Philly is in a cultural lockstep about certain things, like not a full lockstep, but like an example would be like the Eagles. Here, like if the New York sports team is doing well, I actually have no clue. Like you know what I mean? Like it's not like necessarily like paraded around in the same capacity. Or if it is, it's like not in my social circles at all.
Yeah, people aren't flooding the streets for the Jets.
That's right. Yeah,
flipping cars.
Or maybe they are, but in like random parts of Queens or something that I'm not in. Part of it's like partly because New York is so many transplants that people come here and they're like, no, I'm like a Bengals fan or something. But
it's a melting pot.
Yeah. It's like a lot of my friends in the comedy scene here are, they're from Chicago, they're from LA, etc. Whereas in Philly, it's like people, for the most part, from the area,
right?
And then also, when you mentioned St. Patty's Day, that's what made me think of like that's White History Month. In Philly, it's like St. Patty's Month. Like they go like it's insane.
Yeah, and there's all the like bar crawls and stuff where it's like a bus just shuttles you from bar to bar, which like I've never ever wanted to do that in my life. That sounds like such a fucking nightmare. It's
called the Aaron Express. Just to explain to some people who aren't from Philly, people will like dress head to toe in like full like green pastiche of Irish, because like Philly's to the nines in like Irish crap,
Irish way.
Yeah. And just like for like several, like I think one specific weekend, but definitely like as well as, am I wrong about it? Is it multiple weekends or is it one specific weekend?
I don't know.
St. Patty's weekend for sure, but I don't know if
they haven't gone outside in like 3 years.
But the streets of Philly are just full of people dressed head to toe in green who are smashed.
Yeah. Yeah. That's like really just the whole, like everything in Philly. It's like there's that, and then Cinco de Mayo's the same thing, and then there's like Christmas. There's like the running of the Santas or whatever the fuck they do, where everyone dresses like Santa and gets drunk in the street. And then between all the holidays, it's like beer festival, street beer festival. It's like it's just getting shit faced.
Philly's a great beer town.
Yeah,
and I think people don't realize this.
Yeah,
and by great I mean not
just fine.
My sister runs like a Instagram called like Philly Beer Girl. So if you're into that, check that out.
Check out Philly Beer.
Philly Beer Girl.
Philly
Plug
Beer
in my
Girl.
sister's beer Instagram account. She's really into like craft beer, and she'll like post about like the best local ones and stuff.
Yeah.
So there actually is like I think a really great beer scene in Philly that I'm not in tune with.
Yeah, I don't even. I mean, listen, I drank 3 Narragansetts last night, and I am just sick to my stomach. I can't drink like that at all anymore.
No,
I don't
me
know
neither.
why I did. I was like, I'll have another one.
Do you drink before shows typically? Is that like
No, I can't do that at all anymore. I mean, maybe one to kind of, but yeah.
I don't think I ever have. I think I might have drank a bunch once before a show, but enough that I don't know if I did.
Right.
Like at like Medusa back in the day. I think like
Oh God.
I think I had a few beers before a set
Well,
at the mic.
At that open mic, that was like, yeah, I was shit faced all the time because that bartender was
Shout out Portia.
shout out Portia from Medusa from 6 years ago, 7 years ago, would just give away shots of Fireball.
Oh, I remember that.
Like, and it was like, if she liked you, you would get several free shots of Fireball throughout. It would be like, I would show up.
Does she own the place?
I have no
She was like the
idea.
only one that ever
There would be
worked there, am I
some,
right?
this weird little guy that would show up, and he was like,
He was Medusa.
he would be like, I'm the owner, bitch. And he would like heckle and be like loud and annoying and be like, guess what? I own this place. And we were all like, I have a feeling you don't. I think you're just some asshole. But we like, you'd show up and sit at the bar and be like, shot a Fireball, and be like, if you like declined it or like, not yet, just give you one for free or whatever. If you were like, I don't have any cash on me, you get it for free. Come off stage if you had a good set. Here's a shot of Fireball. It was just like constantly just free
Fireball
shots. And then she would leave and
She would
like
go smoke or
comedian-
something.
Yeah.
And she was like the only bartender.
Only bartender.
And so she would go smoke for a while
and
or
she'd
something.
have a
like-
comedian hop behind the bar and take over. It was just like so goofy.
I remember, I'm not going to name names, but I do remember that there was a comedian who was also bartender at a different bar.
We'll just call him Sinbad.
And he was calling out at like another comedian. He like went on after another comedian. He was like, yo, by the way, that guy never tips when he's at my bar. And then Portia was like, yep. And like just like they dunked on him for like not ever tipping at the bars, at the mics. Yeah.
Damn.
And like
well,
they roasted him.
we'll talk about who this
Yeah.
is. That's such
just
a
thought that was
funny
funny.
thing. I've talked to so many like restaurant people about like that have like comedy shows that go on that they work for or whatever, and it's just like it's
Bad tippers, pretty.
bad tippers, but also just like mostly aren't even buying like anything at all. But like then it's like instances where like the open mic runners or the show runners will get like a free meal or food or whatever, and they won't even tip. And it's just like, Jesus Christ, dudes, you gotta
tip.
like,
I don't know if you. So last night at the show, with the drink tickets, we give out $1
Yeah.
to tip with, in case people don't have that dollar. Which is an idea that we stole from Tim Platt. If anybody knows Tim Platt, very funny comedian, he did that at a show.
Tim Platt is a great idea, but actually I would improve it. $2 tip.
Oh yeah.
$2.
Do you?
I'm not really serious, but
Oh.
just wanted to.
In my mind, I was sorry, I thought you were serious. I was like, okay, it's always in my mind. It's like, okay, it's either $1 per drink or it's 20% of it's 20% plus of whatever food item. Yeah,
Yeah, which $1 for a beer seems like perfect.
Yeah.
You know.
yeah.
Sometimes
But it's
I'll
like,
do too.
because sometimes you give people a drink ticket, they're like, oh, nice, this covers tip as well. And it's like, no, it does not. The tip,
Right.
the tip is between you
The
and
bartender's like, ooh,
you and the Lord.
a ticket for me.
I got a golden
your money.
ticket.
I'm in this business for the tickets.
The golden drink ticket. It gets you one of the chocolate beers.
Ooh, I tell you though, if I did have my choice, like with as far as beers go, IPAs are just too funky, too spicy. I love the beers that are like an oatmeal chocolate stout.
Yeah, those are so good.
Breakfast stout.
I really love that shit.
That's
I
the
love
shit.
I love a chocolate beer. Like
Yeah.
the thing is like if it's like a cheap can beer and it's
Mm-hmm.
chocolate beer, then it'll be like sort of like some sort of pumped in Hershey's cheap flavor
Yeah.
in a regular lager or something. But if it's like a
Any
good
chocolate beer, delicious.
but like a good nice one is like
Yeah.
an incredible experience.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes I'll just make my own chocolate beer. Yeah.
I mean that could be good too. Like you make a hot chocolate, yeah, add like a shot of rum or something.
Yeah, a splash of beer.
Splash of beer.
I was speaking of being drunk for stuff, man. I was doing a lot of whiskey in the coffee when I was delivering like food on a bike, and it'd be like dead of winter, like it's fucking freezing out. And
Wait, you would be drinking this, or you'd be delivering a whiskey?
I'm drinking it.
Oh, nice. Hell yeah.
Delivering food and have a coffee and just fucking boop boop, little whiskey in there to brave the freezing cold. It was terrible. I'm like waking up at like 9 o'clock to go to work and then drink whiskey so I can ride around in the snow.
You've had a lot of awful jobs.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Can I ask what what's one of the worst ones been?
Well, I worked at both Friendly's and IHOP for one day each.
Really?
And walked out. Friendly's was so funny because I got the job. In my interview, I said, I have a very friendly personality. And I could see the guy interviewing me go, he checked the box that says friendly attitude. And I walked out of my second shift on like a Saturday night. Like
On a Saturday night? Like
I was
wow.
dishwashing, and the first shift I had a guy training me, and he was like, let me tell you something. So this is my last day here. See how this is kind of going smoothly because there's two of us here? When you're working and you're not being trained, it's just you, and you're going to cry. And I was like, huh? You're going to cry. I was like, fucking, what the fuck? So sure enough, I come in the next night, it's Saturday night, and like, I haven't met a single person that works in this restaurant. Like, I haven't met anyone. I'm just a dishwasher in the back no one cares about. And I'm like, keeping up. I'm trying to keep up so much, and it's friendly, so it's like, the worst dishes you've ever seen. It's like a whole sundae with like ketchup and French fries and like a cigarette in it, and I'm just like fucking.
The funny face and somebody's burned the ashed on the. They like just bought the funny face just to like ash on it.
Yeah, and I'm like I'm trying to keep up so bad, and like servers are coming back on, where are the spoons? Let me get yelling at me, and I'm like, we've never even met. It was a nightmare. And then someone comes back and they goes, you got to take out this trash. And I look behind me and there's this mountain of trash bags. I'm like, that's also my job. I start taking out the trash, and then they come back to like, where's the dishwasher at? What the fuck are you doing? And I was like, this is so insane. I'm like losing my mind. It was like an hour and a half into the shift, and I just like had like a breakdown, and I just like took off my apron and I just walked out the door. Saturday night in this Friendly's, busy as hell, packed Friendly's, and I hear like the hostess go, hey, and they're going, the dishwasher just walked out of the door. And I had fucking got on a bus. Like, I think everyone in the Friendly's could see me walk across the street and get on a bus and leave. And in IHOP was basically the same thing. It's just like those jobs that just you're treated the worst and paid the least.
I feel I worked at a pizza place for 1 month, and I hadn't like I don't know I didn't have experience in this in that field, and they like hired me on the spot. Like they had a sign that said "Help Wanted," and I walked in and I was like, "Hey, like I'd love to." And they were like, great, you've got the job. Like, when you can show up. And I was like, oh, awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I didn't realize how much of a red flag that was.
Right.
And so it's like, I show up and like, I know I'm doing like hosting and then also like waiting. But then they're like, hey, like, knead some of the like dough? And like they start like having me like do like, and then I'm like then I'm bussing, and then I'm like doing a little bit of like dishes, and then I'm like kneading the pizza, like I'm helping with like make pizza dough balls, and then I'm like I'm supposed to be like waiting a table right now, and I'm like rolling the pizza, and then it's like they keep having me like do like basically like everything, and they paid me like I hadn't been paid like that. I did work for like a week, and it's like mostly tips, of course. But then they paid me like $15 or something for the like week. And I remember thinking, I was like, what? I was like, okay. But I still like cognitive dissonance. So it was like, all right, okay, it's supposed to be a tip based job and it's under the table or whatever. So then I worked another like couple weeks, and then it's like, then it's like, okay, it's kind of slow, and there's not much to do. And the boss is like, hey, can you go like water the plants outside? But it's raining. And I go, yo, it's raining. And I'm like, he's like, yeah, but like, you just gotta like have like, when you
gotta
like,
be doing.
You gotta be doing. Yeah.
You got time to lean. You got time to fucking make the sauce.
I'm outside. I'm watering the plants in the rain. And a friend of mine like walks by, and she goes like,
"Hey, Benny, are you losing your mind?"
she goes like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm watering the plant." She goes, "It's raining." I'm like, "Oh, I know.
I know it's raining."
And so I was like, "Oh, this is insane. This is crazy." And the guy, so the first shift I did, a guy like smashed like on purpose. Like quit. He like took a glass, he smashed and went, "Fuck you, fuck this place, you're a piece of shit," like to the owners and stuff. I was like, damn, that guy's crazy. And then I like worked there for like the month, and I was like, oh no, these people are like evil and bad.
You broke a glass.
I know. Yeah, I was like, they're making that. So then I quit as well. I was like, I'm not. There's no way I'm ever coming back here.
Yeah, it's always so frustrating. Like I've worked in a restaurant where it's just like any downtime, all of a sudden you have a new job. It's like I remember like the first day working in this one bar restaurant, it was like there was some downtime, and the chef's like, "Come back here. You want to make a sauce?" I was like, "Fucking what?" But meanwhile, it's like my second day of work, so I'm like, "Sure."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Fucking like," I was like, "Is this right?" I'm like, "I got the ingredients or whatever," and he goes, "Oh, you taste it. You tell me." I'm like, "Dude, how am I this chef all of a sudden? This is my second day, and I'm making the sauce." Like, what is this place?
Or Ratatouille.
Yeah, what is it?
They should show Ratatouille bussing more. Like the rat, like he's like in his mind, it's like instead of the cheese and the strawberry making a beautiful thing, it's like the dirty dish, and the dish soap. Yeah, like making a beautiful combination of like suds in his brain.
He made it all the way to France, but he could only get under the busboy's hat.
This is the best busboy you've had on. Do the busboys get a hat?
I don't think the busboys get a hat
in France.
In France, who knows? I didn't see a lot of the
beret.
Yeah,
that's the busboy beret.
Yeah. What's a fucking weird? Like, I definitely have had just really weird work related experiences. This is a crazy story.
Oh, what's this?
So this wasn't a work story. I was looking for a job, and I've told this story a long time ago on stage once. Full disclosure.
Oh, sure.
I found a guy on Craigslist, and so I was looking for a job, and it's like 19, and it's miserable. It's such a dead end. You're like on Craigslist. You're like fucking. It sucks. After like a little bit, I just start going into like the like sex area of Craigslist that like doesn't exist anymore, where you can just like find weird stuff. And I'm just like looking around, and I find a post that says, "We'll pay $$ for you to fart in my face." And I said, "Looks like I found a job, baby." And I talked to this dude for a while, just trying to like get it. I was like, "Well, what is it, that you want? And he was like, I have a lot of money, and this is what I like. And I'm like, I think I'm going to do this. I'm like, I think I'm going to fart on this guy for money. And he's asking me, he's like, can you fart on command? Like, do you fart a lot? I was like, I can figure something out. I can make this happen. And then he goes, so another thing. Oh, he says, you need to wear like basketball shorts or something. Can't wear jeans. I was like, okay. I'm still on board with all this. And then he's like, I'm going to be jerking off.
Yeah.
And
sure, of course.
Obviously.
Yeah.
But I was the most naive I've ever been, and was like, this is where I draw the line. And I'm like, what? Of course he's jerking off. In my head, I was like, he was like, you smoke weed? He was like, we can watch a movie. It's like, whenever you have to fart, like fart in my face. And I was like, sick. I'm just going to go. We're going to chill and watch a movie, smoke weed. I'm going to fart on him. He's going to give me money. I'm going to be like, all right, see you, dude. Of course he's jerking off. I was like, I fucking actually can't. And then he started offering more and more money. And it was like, it's so hard not to do it.
Oh, you should have done it.
I should have done it. It's my biggest regret.
Oh, how much money was he offering?
He was like, I would like to do this several times a month, 3 or 4 times a month, and it would be like several hundred a pop.
Wow.
And then he started going up to like 1,000 a pop.
Oh man, hit him back up.
I gotta find him again.
He starts offering like better and better movies. He's like, I'll get the latest stuff on demand.
He's like, dude, I got The Office box set. Funniest, the cap on this story that I think is the funniest part is, I told this story. My friend, she was like around, and she told her mom this story. I told my mom. A few moms got wind of this story, and like all of them were like, you got to be careful in these situations, because that could have been a police sting.
Oh.
Which, like,
Yeah.
why did they set it up like that? Why is it this specific? I love, like, thinking of, like, they're, like, listening in the van. Like, they hear a fart, and they're like, let's go in. They bust in. They're just like, who pitched this? It's like, hey, we're doing a prostitution sting, and...
Is it legally... I mean, if you don't... Is that a sex act?
I don't know. It's a good question.
It's like a good... It's like... I mean, yes. On the one hand, yes, of course. But on the other hand, it's like... Can you get paid to be jerked off near... In a sense? You know what I mean? Like, is it prostitution to be...
Where is the line?
That is an interesting thing.
If he's not touching me... He better not be touching me.
Looking's free, but
yeah,
looking's $1,000 apparently.
Yeah. He
Can you fart on command?
No.
Oh, so he was gonna have you come over and gas you up a little bit. He's
Yeah,
gonna give you
he
some
gassed
like
me up a little bit.
here's a seltzer or something like some beans or something.
Yeah, I think that was part of my plan. I was like, I'm gonna have to strategically eat something. Do you think you would have paused the movie? Like if you're on the sofa, right? You're sitting there, he's edging, and you go. He's edging. He's just on the brink of coming this whole time.
Yeah, because he's not. I imagine that he's specifically waiting for the fart to really jack it.
Right.
Right. So in the meantime, he's maintaining.
Yeah, I guess. And again, this is I'm back to my original naivete of like, yeah, I guess he would be kind of hard the whole time.
It's not. Oh, I mean, maybe I met he comes like 10 minutes in. You're just like, well, do you want to watch the rest of Sully?
I still haven't seen Sully. And like, listen, you paid me a lot of money. Let's just finish the movie. Let's finish our
He
seltzers.
starts you're like riffing on the movie.
Yeah, and we become good buds. Oh, and then this is wild. Another epilogue. Went to Utica, New York, of all places, to do comedy, and I told that story, and a girl in the audience was like, "My fucking friend from Philly talked to this guy, and he did this." And I was like,
wow.
"Are you fucking kidding me?" And we were like talking about it, and I was like, like they were like stunned. We were both just like, we literally know this fucking like this is so long ago. And she's like, "Yeah, my friend did this and made money, and he bought a bunch of tattoo equipment and became like and kickstarted his tattoo career."
Wow.
From farting on this guy.
Oh my god. Oh man, that's amazing.
Yeah, and look at me. I have no money. No tattoo guns.
Why did they get rid of the? I mean, I assume the illegal sex act Craigslist section. That answers itself. Why they got rid of it?
Yeah. It used to be just great to look at because it was so funny. Some of the services. I remember there was this thing. It was like a maid service called the Dust Bunnies, where it's like you'd hire like girls to come over and just clean your house while they're naked.
Oh sure.
Which who that has like the disposable income like that to have that kind of service is going to Craigslist. Like it seems like those kinds of people would be in a kind of circle where they could just make that happen. It's like. It's like spending money.
It's like I don't want to kink shame because I think these are all valid, but I am shaming a little bit of the use of money. I am shaming a little bit of the maybe that could be part of the humiliation or the financial dom. I don't mean to shame that. I mean I do mean to shame a little bit of the like. Come on, spend your money on give it whatever happened to charity. But at the same time, I guess it does.
I should have shamed him. I just said, you know what? Why don't you give $1,000 to charity?
No, I take it back. Never mind. Especially it starts with the tattoo. Yeah. So this is a very valid. You know what? I take it back, and in fact, I'm actually switching that mental gear and entirely going supportive because I actually think that one of the things that it does seem like rich perverts do spend their money on is the weirdest sex shit in the world.
Of course, yeah.
And, I mean, obviously there's a wrong side of that, which is going to an island because, the carbon footprint of the airplane travel.
Yeah, it's
that's
really
the issue
really
with that.
Unethical.
That's, oh my God, the child flight, a private plane, the footprint of that.
Yeah, the footprint.
The footprint
keeps me up at
night. The footprint of pedophilia.
It's unsustainable.
It's unsustainable. Whatever happened to no? But truly, it's like if you want, like, I do think that if you want to do weird sex stuff, as long as it's with consenting adults.
Just fucking keep it away from me, dude.
No, I think it's fantastic. And in fact, if you're looking to hire, Michael is available.
I'll do anything.
And Benny is available, depending on the act.
Depending on the act. No Army Hammer stuff. Remember that?
Yeah, wow. Oh, my God. How much does that cost for a finger? Joe Biden putting a finger in her mouth and biting.
That's, man, what an inconvenient fetish. Al Gore, an inconvenient fetish.
Al Gore's take is also just like carbon footprint of, do you know how much energy it takes to grow a human finger?
I don't know why I was about to like commit to an Al Gore impression. I'm like,
I don't know what it sounds like.
Yeah.
The carbon footprint of a real foot.
I'm Al Gore. I invented the internet.
Did Army Hammer want to eat people, or did he eat people? Allegedly. Let's go
like
with allegedly for this, for legal reasons. Also, we allegedly want to do sex acts for money. No, allegedly? That's not the right way to do it. This is a parody podcast, and we don't actually put that out into the...
Yeah, we're basically playing characters.
We're playing characters here. Alex Jones asking characters.
Yeah. Oh. It was a DM of him like telling this girl that he like wants to like eat her and drink her blood and stuff, and she to my memory I believe, and she was just like, hey, take it easy.
You know, I'd have to see the DM, but it's a weird thing.
I would
where
like
it's
to read it again.
I'd like to review the tape, but that's an interesting thing where that could be a kink of play of that space of a sort of goth-esque vampirism type play. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like though he just sent that as an unsolicited DM in some sense,
right.
And scared the shit out of somebody and shouldn't have, etc.
Right.
And also maybe wants to eat her,
right?
But
It's
I could
like-
also see that being ambiguously a goth-esque idea.
Yeah, it definitely. I could definitely see it being consensual. It's one of those things where it's like when it's not, it's like it's one of the most shocking, bizarre fetishes, and it's non-consensual. I mean,
Imagine having that fetish and being in the Dahmer party and being like, oh fuck yeah, the one opportunity. Sorry, that's messed up a little bit, and by a little bit I mean quite.
well,
But
I've had a lot of crazy jobs.
my one thought on like if you have like a cannibalism fetish or something, it's like just also have other fetishes. Is that really the only thing that can get your rocks off? Is
Branch
eating
out.
a guy? How'd you discover that? Mm-hmm. That's something you have to like really dig deep and go like, no, the only thing that can get me off is a finger in the mouth and the belly.
Yeah.
Try high heels or something. Try getting spanked. I'm sure you like it.
Ask someone to spank you. But who knows? Maybe they did try this all. Maybe they're all tapped out, and they.
And then maybe just go. Maybe I have a low libido. Just it's fine to not. Nobody deserves to have their fetish fulfilled. There's no
Absolutely, yeah.
There's no sure you have that insane weird fetish, but that doesn't mean that society has to let you do that in any sense.
Right.
Like you're legally allowed to be sexually frustrated for the rest of your life.
That's right.
Or that's my hot take. Or just jerk off thinking about it.
Yeah, well, that's where it starts. And then it's not enough anymore.
True.
What a
Sorry.
any crazy sex stories? Any mishaps or goofs?
Oh, I'm sure. Let me think. Yeah, here's one that comes to mind instantly that I've been trying to like write jokes about.
Nice. Let's hear. Let's workshop it.
And maybe I once fell asleep like fingering a girl. She had to like pull my fingers out of her. There's no specific punchline to that yet, as much as a.
Were you like drunk?
Was it? No.
No. Sleepy.
Just a little eepy.
Just bored.
Just a little eepy. Just bored, yeah.
Just a little weary. The rest of my weary head.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I think it was late. It must have been at least 9 p.m. past my bedtime.
I've done that. Yeah, I've done that.
You've done that, really?
Fallen asleep. Yeah.
Oh, like
Going downtown.
oh sure.
But yeah, drunk, late, and you're already in bed.
You're already in bed. No, we weren't actually. We were in the shower.
Oh my god! You fell asleep and slipped and fell.
Just ragdoll.
I do have this is such a funny story. This couple that I knew. If I've been hitting this.
No, it's all right.
table-
I'm trying to. Thanks for derailing from my riffs about the cannibalism.
No, it's okay.
Going down a mental path.
This couple I knew in high school, who, there's couples in high school that were just, they're having sex. It was early,
And you could all.
and it was often.
Yeah.
It was like, man, two are always having sex. Wonder when I'm gonna have sex. And this story, they were having sex in the shower, and apparently it was having sex with his girl from behind, and thrusted too hard and smacked her head into the soap dish, and fucking it was like a disaster, like knocked her out. And
oh my god,
they're telling me the story. They're cracking up telling me the story. So it's ultimately a funny story.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And she died. No. He fucking
like she actually ragdolls and it like had the oh my god.
Yeah. I'm like that's dangerous business, the shower.
Yeah. No, it's genuinely like the thing with the shower is it's like you think it's gonna be like I guess more lubricated in a sense, but like the water is washing away all your natural lubrication, and it causes it to be like more friction-esque.
Yes.
And so it's like, but then like soap can reintroduce an element of lubrication, but it also then can burn the penis and the vaginal,
your pee and your BB,
your BB, in your eyes.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I don't know.
It's not worth it. Just do it in a bed or some hay.
Some hay. I would love to have sex in a barn.
Yeah. That used to be where it was done.
Yeah. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. In front of the eyes of God and the goats.
And the goats.
Yeah. Sometimes with.
Yeah. Speaking of...
No, big pile of hay. What?
Speaking of being able to indulge in your freaking fetishes.
I'm working on this joke. You want to hear it? Would you have
No.
No. Also,
hear it.
before I do it, we passed an hour.
Okay.
But I'm down to keep going for a little bit if you are. I know you have to leave in a little bit, so.
What time is it?
It's 2:24.
Okay, yeah.
So, maybe another 5 minutes or so.
I could fucking talk forever.
Yeah! Well, it's good to have you on.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, baby.
Good to be in the Big Apple.
I kind of wish I had done the podcast in. I'll do the joke in a second. But I kind of wish I had done the podcast in Philly a little bit just to get all the Philly homies on.
Oh,
and so now I'm only able to have them on when they're here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And here specifically for an extended amount of time. You know what I mean?
Right.
Would you have sex with a clone? That's the joke setup.
A clone of...
Right, so then the punchline
myself?
is yeah, that's right. The punchline is then
I forgot you were doing a joke.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like I know I would. Ever since I first laid eyes on Dolly the sheep.
That's very good.
Thank you. Yeah.
Dolly. That's very, very good.
Thank you. And the thing is, the crowds, I think it's a little confusing because the first part is meant to be ambiguous, and then the second part, people don't all know Dolly the sheep. I'm surprised. I thought it was like a more famous reference.
I don't know Dolly the sheep either.
Oh, really?
You made her up.
No. She was the first clone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the first. I believe the first successful animal clone was was Dolly the sheep. Yeah.
And then after that, it was Paul McCartney. There's such a funny list of celebrities that there's just like a death hoax that it all start like Paul was like there was that, but then there was just like a streak of like every like obscure like it was like Kel from Kenan and Kel died. Napoleon Dynamite died. William Hung died. It was like this
Dynamite.
weird like time where it was like, oh yeah, remember he died? Like he died.
You know, they cloned John Lennon, but he's still he's like just not as good.
Yeah. no one can find him.
Just unsuccessful.
Yeah.
Just a lad in Liverpool.
Yeah. Just a fucking lad.
Yep.
There's a kid in my high school named John Lennon, and fucking
really
everyone hated him.
He
was assassinated.
He does like the school talent show. It's like, imagine there's no bullies. Sorry. We close on make fun of that guy, whoever that is. Hey,
you know what we should actually close on is singing "Imagine" like those celebrities did in that video.
Sure.
Imagine there's no heaven.
It's easy if you try. Imagine there's no tomorrow. That's what he says.
No, that's not
No countries.
No countries. Imagine there's no pussy. Imagine there's no pussy.
Imagine some big monster. 4 arms.
Imagine dragons.
Rawr.
Could you imagine a dragon's pole?
That's a good Lennon.
Write a song about a dragon. That's Paul. I think Ringo's there. George, I think, is the one that's like the weakest for me. I'm not very. I think he has like the most like drab, like monotone of the Beatles voices.
That makes sense.
I
I was doing this bit with my friend Mark Burns at a party. It's just a funny idea of like if before, like you know how like DJ Khaled or like some musicians before every song will like say their name.
Yeah.
Before every Beatles song, they go John, Paul, George, Ringo, and then I like to say.
I had a similar bit thing. I saw Limp Bizkit in concert a while ago, and it was very fun, very funny. And their stage set, big flashing lights, Limp Bizkit, and every time they would say Limp Bizkit, it would light up Limp Bizkit, and it was like it's so funny because they funny thing about Limp Bizkit songs is they say Limp Bizkit a lot in them. It's a very common lyric. And I just always thought of if the Beatles did that too, and all their songs they were like it's the Beatles. The Beatles.
Imagine it's John Lennon.
Also, a funny thing about that, I got those Limp Bizkit concert tickets for free. I was at work. I was at this bar, and it was dead. And the bartender's like, "Yo, you want free Limp Bizkit tickets?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "That lady that's leaving right now, she was just like giving away Limp Bizkit tickets. It's like, go get her." And I was like, "Oh shit!" I ran after this lady, and I like was like, "Hey, excuse me, you have Limp Bizkit tickets?" And I was like, "Yo, how easy is it to like prank me?" Like, you just be like, "Hey, you want free Limp Bizkit? That guy is giving away free Limp Bizkit." So I'm like,
She was?
She was.
That's great. That's great.
But it did dawn on me. I'm like, it's so easy to prank.
Like
Excuse me. But yeah, I went and saw Limp Bizkit.
That's what's up.
10 or so years ago, and Machine Gun Kelly opened when he was a rapper, pre-emo.
I like the emo phase actually. I think he's.
You like it?
I'm quite enjoying it actually. I think he's fun. I think he's having quite a fun time.
Yeah,
I think he's
definitely.
I think he's doing him. I think he's doing him.
He's doing him, and I love him.
Well, I'm gonna close on some plugs. I want to plug
My butt.
Check out Michael's butt. She's able to fart if you ever want to do a movie night. No. Michael has a sketch group called Scrote. Check out Scrote. Possibly going to change the
Scrote
name.
Zone on most socials. It's Scrote Zone. YouTube Scrote Zone.
And anything else you would like the people to find you on, or any other projects?
Hey,
What's your at on the socials?
Michael S. Watkins. I post to Instagram every few months.
But Scrote Zone is where the videos will be coming out.
Yeah, that's where the videos will be. I also have a Bandcamp, Michael the DJ. I put out a few mashup compilations.
I cannot tell if you're serious. Is that true?
That's absolutely true.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah.
Well, actually, now you say that, I've are there like comedy mashups where you like take two?
No, just music.
Really? Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. Okay.
Yeah, I did a bunch of like individual ones, and then I put out a couple like compilations. And before I knew it, I have like an hour and a half of mashups that I made. It's been really just a fun thing that I discovered. It was fun and easy.
Shit, that's what's up. Michael's made some of the funniest like little videos that like the mint chocolate creamer, etc. That I'm like little character-esque parodies. So She's a really great follow. You will not regret checking out her various comedy works. And also, I just got a great tape from the show, so you'll be seeing some of her stand-up. You don't even have to follow her to see that. It'll go viral.
Yeah, just keep your ears to the internet.
Like an old out west.
Yep.
Just put your ear to the phone. You'll hear rumblings of Watkins. Watkins is coming.
Hear that viral stampede coming.
Oh, the phone starts rumbling. I think I'm getting a notification. The texts are incoming. Thank you so much for coming. It's so great to see you, baby. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Bye.